Next topic, lysosome and ribosome, other two cell organelles. Lysosome. Lysosome is generally made up of two words. One is lyso and second is soma, right? The meaning of the lyso is digestive and soma is body. So digestive body are generally lysosome. Now what exactly lysosomes are? Lysosomes are the dense bodies or the membrane bounded cell organelles with a unit single membrane. It means they generally contain a single unit membrane. The membrane of the lysosome is generally made up of phospholipid and they generally encloses hydrolytic enzymes. The average diameter of the lysosome is somewhat 0.25 to 0.8 μm. That is the average diameter of a lysosome. Now, when I talk about this lysosome generally exhibit polymorphism or they are polymorphic in nature. Now, what do you mean by polymorphism? Polymorphism means they exhibit in different sizes and different form. So there are four different forms of the lysosome: primary lysosome, secondary lysosome, tertiary lysosome and residual bodies. These are the four different forms of the lysosome. Let's talk about the first one, primary lysosome. Primary lysosomes are the lysosomes which generally contain smaller granule and are with the homogeneous content. Primary lysosome also contains hydrolytic enzymes enclosed in them. Second one is secondary lysosome. Now secondary lysosomes are little larger sized bodies and they are with the heterogeneous content. That is, they are made up of different components. Now the secondary lysosomes are generally formed by the fusion of the primary lysosome with the endocytic vacuoles. And they are also called as heterophagic vacuole as they are formed by the fusion of the primary lysosome. Next, tertiary lysosomes, they are also the larger bodies which are generally present. And fourth one is called residual bodies. The undigested food material after the activity of the lysosomal enzyme remains in the residual bodies. That they are generally called as the residual bodies. Now, primary lysosomes sometimes have a tendency or the ability that they can combine or fuse with any other unwanted cell organelle and lead to the formation of a sac-like structure which is called autophagic vacuole or autophagosome. Now, autophagic vacuole or autophagosome is a structure which is formed by the primary lysosome on fusion with the unwanted cell organelle. That's what your four different forms of your lysosome. Now let's talk about the biological functions of the lysosome. First, lysosome plays an important role in intracellular and extracellular digestion. Intracellular taking place inside the cell and extracellular what obviously taking place outside the cell. So intracellular and extracellular digestion is generally favored with the help of the lysosome. Second, lysosome generally secretes hydrolytic enzymes and this hydrolytic enzyme can engulf or digest its own cell organelles or the cell bodies. That's why lysosomes are called as suicide bags of the cell. So why lysosomes are called suicide bags of the cell? Suicide means self-destruction. So they generally secrete the hydrolytic enzyme. Hydrolytic enzyme has an ability that they can digest its own cell organelles or the cell bodies. So lysosomes are called as the suicide bags of the cell. Third function. It plays an important role in the secretion of an enzyme called as hyaluronidase. Right? Hyaluronidase is a type of an enzyme which is generally released by the sperm during the course of fertilization, right? It means that sperm will go and fertilize with the ovum, but the ovum membrane should be ruptured. So in order to rupture the membrane of the ovum, the sperm releases a lysosomal enzyme called hyaluronidase, which ruptures the membrane of the ovum during the fertilization so that the sperm can easily penetrate inside the ovum. Fourth function, lysosome contains a bundle or couples of enzymes such as phosphatases, sulfatases, nucleases, proteases, glycosidases, lipases, etc. So these are all the different types of the enzymes which are coupled in the lysosome. Next function, lysosome plays an important role in digestion of the food material and the foreign particles by the phagocytosis. Phagocytosis means phagocytosis is a process where the phagocytic cells engulf the dead cell or the wounded cell in the body. Next, Lysosome plays an important role in metamorphosis in amphibian. You know very well, amphibians such as frog, in them the metamorphosis is done with the help of lysosome. And the last function, lysosome also plays an important role in removing the carcinogens from the body. Second cell organelle we are going to talk about, very small cell organelle, ribosome. Ribosomes are also the dense spherical bodies measuring about 150 to 250 angstrom in diameter. For the very first time, ribosomes were discovered by the scientist Palade. So Palade was the first to observe the ribosome. Now chemically, ribosomes are generally ribonucleoprotein. They are ribonucleoprotein, that is they are made up of RNA and protein. Ribonucleoprotein stands for RNA and protein. So ribosomes are chemically made up of RNA and protein. So they are called ribonucleoprotein. Now, during active protein synthesis, ATS type of ribosome occurs in a cluster or a group, and they are together called as polyribosome or polysome, right? So you know very well, ribosome will undergo protein synthesis. So during the active protein synthesis, ATS type of ribosome comes in a contact, it comes closer, or it comes in a group and generally forms a polyribosome or polysome. Now ATS type of ribosome, we have studied 70S in prokaryotic cell, ATS in eukaryotic cell. So ATS type of ribosome is made up of two subunits. The smaller subunit is 40S and larger subunit is 60S. So 40S is smaller subunit, 60S is larger subunit, together will fuse to form ATS type of ribosome. S stands for Swedberg unit. Now the functions of the ribosome. Everyone knows ribosome is the center for protein synthesis. That's why ribosomes are also called as protein factory. Second, ribosome generally provides a skeletal framework to the cell. The entire skeletal framework or the shape is generally defined to the cell with the help of ribosome. And the third function, ribosome also protects the body and it also prevents us from the protein degrading enzyme. Protein digesting enzyme or protein degrading enzyme, that is proteolytic enzyme. So from them also the protection is provided by the ribosome. That's what all about your lysosome and ribosome, which are a cell organelle present majorly in the eukaryotic cell. Thank you.